I think I had 5 heart attacks. My wife didn't know what to do, call 911 or whatever. As Liverpool, thanks to Roberto Firmino, who was saying goodbye to Liverpool, of course, his equalizer in the final moments of this game, equalized against Aston Villa, who opened the scoring thanks to Jacob Ramsey in the first half. Ollie Watkins missed a penalty early before that, but I mean, what a game. This is why we love the Premier League. But if you're a fan of these teams, you had a few dramatic scenarios as I did, Janusz. What a game.
Yeah, where do you start with that? I mean, look, I mean, he was Liverpool coming off of 7 straight wins in the Premier League, obviously still pushing for that top 4 spot. And for everybody, and I'm sure everyone watched that game against Leicester City, I mean, I haven't seen a dominance like that in a long, long time. Certainly without their manager who was sitting in the stands, that usually plays a part, I suppose, when he's not there, because he's such a presence on the sidelines that he'll let you know. And I think they were missing that a little bit. You could see it was a very warm weather there. I thought it wasn't as quick of a start from Liverpool as you'd expect in a situation like that. I wonder just a little bit, the way I was thinking, in the end, it came good or almost perfect. I was wondering, all that talk about Bobby Firmino, James Milner, Keita, and Ox, last game, as it often happens now, all around the grounds. If that kind of, I don't know if it played a part or not, but I expected a much better start from Liverpool, although credit to your Villa, because Unai Emery tactically approached this game extremely well, squeezed the spaces, especially in the center of the pitch. There was space in behind, and you think that against a team like Liverpool, that's not necessarily great, but having, the quickness in the back that Villa does, they had players that knew they could recover. It kind of took a page of Liverpool at their best. I don't know if you agree, Lewis, right? Where it's a quick, high line, you squeeze the spaces, he's trying to press a little bit, although I think Unai Emery knew that he was always going to be dangerous on the counter. And let's face it, in the first 45 minutes, that was the case.
No, you're absolutely correct. It's definitely a page from the best times of Jurgen Klopp, because Villa do like to play this, walking on fire on a thin bridge, and there's like, spears below with this high line. You're always testing that. It was tested last week. It was tested today. And it was the reason why Lucas Digne started, of course, and Matty Cash, because he wanted to make sure, Unai Emery wanted to make sure he had that sort of athletic enough, smart enough line to contain. But in the end, Liverpool got that equalizer. I want to quickly talk about Roberto Firmino for a second, because this is the end of his career with Liverpool, Janusz Michallik. Before Gabriel Jesus entered the frame and did all those goals with Manchester City, Roberto Firmino was the most successful Brazilian in Premier League history. I mean, he's given so much. Let me ask you something. Underappreciated, irreplaceable. What do you think of Roberto Firmino?
Well, I mean, when you think of so many legends at Liverpool, right, and it's hard to name them, the Keegans, the Dalglishes, the Souness's, Ray Clemens, whoever you think, Tommy Smiths of the world, right? I mean, it's not the first name that comes to it, but I think, that song that they sang at Leicester for 12 minutes, and today, obviously, the appreciation they showed, you're going to hear that song for decades. No doubt that he's a legend of the club for maybe some of the different reasons, right? Because, I mean, we do remember him in the Bundesliga at Hoffenheim, but to me, he was a selfless player who reinvented himself over and over and over for the good of the team. I think that's the most important part. And how often have we said that at Liverpool's height, winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League, we've often said he was the most important player, even though he wasn't scoring at a rate of others, right? That wasn't his job. He was the one that was starting the press. He was the one that kind of got the team going and found a way to play between the lines while making others better. And, as a player, I think you want to hear that. I think that's important. And everybody at Liverpool owes him a debt of gratitude. There's no questions about that. I mean, he was loved. He loved the city. He loved the fans. He loved the club. And I think when you look at it, what is it now, 110 goals? How poetic is that? That, losing at Anfield, where everybody's waiting to send you off on a good note, he scores in stoppage time. Yet another and last goal for Liverpool Football Club. Well, I shouldn't say last, because there's still games to play. So maybe last at Anfield as well. So he will be in the folklore of Liverpool Football Club forever. I have no doubt.
No doubt. A Premier League champion, Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, Club World Cup, FA Cup, League Cup, Community Shield. And I'm so happy that he scored today, he says sarcastically. All right. Well, in the end, Liverpool got a point, a valuable point for Villa, because it's still in the race for European football, of course, after Brighton losing, and they still have a couple of games, but also Tottenham losing to Brentford. They're catching up. But Liverpool, now with this point, it's very difficult for them to get that Champions League spot, Janusz.
Oh, of course. I mean, I think they'll be disappointed because they would have felt that even though it's Aston Villa and obviously they're in great form and great season under Unai Emery since he came over, your expectation is after 7 straight wins in the Premier League that you're going to win that and press Manchester United and or Newcastle until the end. Both Newcastle obviously winning and the last game. So I think they all realize that they left it too late. And I think if you're Jurgen Klopp, you're just happy that you've gotten something out of the team that not long ago was in 10th, 11th place, whatever it was. So I think this is a great foundation. I don't think anybody, by the way, should be surprised because when you're getting all your best players that you've been missing throughout the season back, I think we all realized that Liverpool were much better than they were showing. I mean, sometimes, remember, we were asking, what's wrong with Liverpool? What's wrong with this or that? Is the cycle over? Well, I just remember half the team being out, the key players. And obviously, if you don't have a great start to the season, you're going to pay the price for that, unless you Manchester City, who very often leave it late, but they always stay within that small margin. So foundation, again, for next season, and depending on what happens in the summer, I think we're going to be talking about Liverpool, if not challenging for the top spot, I think being back in the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took them last season to really just get a Champions League spot. And then with this amazing run you were talking about, it's difficult, but at least they've been pushing. So it's a big, big summer for Liverpool. That's for sure.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.